Hello, welcome to this post-production diary, and it's 3 weeks to go until the release of King Kong. As you can imagine, things are a little bit busy down here in New Zealand at the moment.
Good. A bit of quick-fixing.
As usual, we're right down to the wire with everything.
We are due to deliver the film on the 27th, which is this coming weekend.
We're so close to the deadlines of when the studio needs to start making prints that we're having to deliver the movie one reel at a time.
The final King Kong will be 9 of those. 35mm, duration of that on the screen is about 20 minutes.
Now, within that 20-minute reel, of course, there is a lot of CG shots, and Weta are in the process of this week delivering their final shots on the film.
The shots that are left to go are predominantly the ones that were handed over last or are the most difficult in the film.
The Bronto sequence finished up today. The pit sequence with all the bugs finished up today. It's all coming to a close. We can actually see the end now. It's a pretty exciting time, finally.
We have 4 or 5 days to the end. Thank God.
I think it's something like 3,000 effect shots in the film, which is pretty high given that it's, normal effects films closer to 2,000.
We're just cleaning everything up. We have 142 shots left, which is nothing.
Every day, sometimes twice a day, I go to the cinema and I sit with the folks at Weta and we review the last shots that are coming through the system.
But we still have the digital intermediate process to go through. The data from the computer gets shipped straight over to the digital intermediate guys for the colour timing.
We've delivered 3 reels so far. We have a schedule of when we think the visual effects are going to be locked and closed for a reel, and then once we get those, we grade them up, place in those last shots, make sure that the reel is sitting, and then we conform it and put it out to film.
If Peter approves, it goes off to the editorial team so that they can make sure that the form of the film is correct.
The confidence check is a thing that we do back in editorial to make sure that what's being shot to film is exactly what Peter intends to be shot to film. And so this is a final check pass to make sure that the intent of the edit has actually made it onto the film before it gets shot out to negative.
There is still physical film involved. The process of delivering the reels of film basically ends with the filming out onto a 35mm neg.
What you see here is a RE laser film recorder. It's currently mastering out reel 3 of the film. 24 hours later, it goes to the laboratory. They process it, they print it, comes back. We check the print. If it's all good, then that becomes a master negative for the film.
And we also have concurrently the sound, which is being worked on by a completely different team at Park Road Post, which is our facility down here in New Zealand.
Reel 7 or 8 really basically closing in on finishing. That's what we're working on today. Once we've finished the final mix, we do what's called a print master.
Which is basically the final stage that we go through in sound. I take everything that they've mixed and that Peter's approved, and I fold that all down into the various formats that it'll go to in the movie theaters.
Just like that, complete Dolby Digital soundtrack on one small disc.
All the actual sound elements are being sent digitally over the internet to the labs.
It's pretty amazing that we're so far away and the sound can end up being there in a couple hours. So that's brought to the lab, and then they actually shoot a picture negative of the sound only.
The 2 essential elements for the release prints are the picture neg and the sound neg. So we have the sound neg, we have the picture neg, we print them together, you get your release print.
So reel by reel, the picture is being done. At the moment, we've delivered 6 reels. We've got 3 reels to go, and they all have to be finished by Monday, because these reels have to be sent away overseas to be mass-produced in the laboratories around the world so that the film's ready for projection in, I guess, about 20,000 cinemas on December the 14th.
Prints and negative and hard drives. We make negatives from the hard drives. These negatives we'll start printing on, and we'll make our own negatives in LA. So we'll have we'll have probably 6 negatives that we'll be printing on simultaneously.
Not only are we doing the 12 version internationally, but we're also doing subtitling between 27 languages wide.
I've been here 5 days. That's the 3rd dog I've seen in all of New Zealand.
When I'm sitting in the theater watching it, I'll know we're done.
What are you going to do when it's over?
Sleep. For a long time.
Moved to Spain retire. Barcelona, here I come.